Imagine you are in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, on an open boat with no roof, no engine, and no direction. Around you, there is only a monotonous blue horizon and the constant shadow of sharks. Medically speaking, humans can usually only survive 100 hours without water and a few weeks without food. However, this man broke all those biological laws. This is the story of José Salvador Alvarenga, a fisherman who accidentally traveled 10,700 kilometers, a distance equivalent to flying from New York to Moscow, just to survive for 438 days in the open sea. This is not merely a story of luck, but an extreme test of the ultimate limits of human physical and mental resilience. It all began on November 17, 2012 in the fishing village of Costa Azul, Mexico. Alvarenga, known by the nickname Cirillo, planned to go to sea for 30 hours to hunt sharks. Because his regular partner canceled, he brought along Ezequiel C. Rhoda, a 22-year-old young man with very little experience. They set off in a small fiberglass boat without a protective cabin. Initially, the expedition was very successful. They managed to catch 500 kilograms of fish. However, suddenly the Norteno storm struck. Fierce winds of 60 miles per hour and 10-foot waves battered their boat. To keep the boat from sinking, Alvarenga had to throw their entire valuable catch and fishing gear into the sea. The disaster reached its peak when the boat's outboard motor died completely and the communication radio ran out of battery right as they were sending an SOS signal. On land, the aerial search was called off after 48 hours due to severe weather. Alvarenga and C. Rhoda were presumed dead, standing at death's door. Without food and fresh water, Alvarenga had to revert to primitive ways. Without a net, he learned to catch pelagic fish and small sharks just by reaching his hands into the water and grabbing them tightly. Fish bites often tore his fingers, but the hunger was far more agonizing. Medically speaking, surviving on lean protein alone risks causing protein poisoning, which damages the kidneys. To overcome this, Alvarenga ate the entire animal, including the calorie-rich liver and internal organs. Miraculously, he did not get scurvy because he ate raw meat and fish eyeballs, which contained natural vitamin C from the animals' bodies. The biggest problem was hydration. When it didn't rain for weeks, Alvarenga was forced to drink the blood of sea turtles or his own urine to keep his mucous membranes moist. He also lowered his body's metabolism by sleeping up to 20 hours a day inside a styrofoam icebox to avoid the deadly sting of the equatorial sun. Physical endurance was only half the battle. The other half was mental. Ezequiel C. Rhoda, his young companion, began to experience physical decline after accidentally eating a venomous sea snake, which left him traumatized by raw food. Severe depression made C. Rhoda refuse to eat until he finally passed away from starvation and despair. C. Rhoda's death destroyed Alvarenga's anchor to reality. For 6 days, Alvarenga went through a severe phase of denial. He kept C. Rhoda's body on the boat and spoke to him as if the young man was still alive. It was only one night that he snapped out of his madness, washed his partner's feet, and buried C. Rhoda at sea. The trauma was so immense that he passed out instantly. Alone for the next 300-plus days, Alvarenga's mind began creating alternative realities. He hallucinated walking around his village or eating warm tortillas to provide a fictitious sense of fullness to his brain. On January 30, 2014, the currents carried him to a small atoll in the Marshall Islands. He washed ashore practically naked, weak, and skinny as a skeleton. A local couple found him in a dazed state, clutching a rusted knife. Alvarenga had survived after 438 days adrift, over 6,700 nautical miles. However, his return to civilization was not as beautiful as one might imagine. Alvarenga suffered from severe PTSD and an extreme fear of water known as aquaphobia. He was even sued by C. Rhoda's family for $1 million on allegations of cannibalism, although the accusations were never proven forensically. The story of José Salvador Alvarenga teaches us that at the absolute lowest point of suffering, love for family and active hope are the strongest survival tools. As Alvarenga said, if you think you are going to die, you will die. Survival is not just about the body, but about the narrative we choose to stay.